Thank you so much for joining us today at Christpoint Church. We want you to know we're real people living real lives, serving a real God. We hope that you enjoy today's sermon. Welcome home.
So everybody has a story. Everybody has a story, and that story is, as much as it's tailor-made for each one of us, as much as it's our very own, it's to be shared, because our same stories are somebody else's as well. Everybody has a story. Travis, I'd ask you today to share yours. Well, you're asking the wrong person. Which button? What? Well, it said mute on it too, so. Real people.
Good morning, Sparta. I'd like to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to be able to come down here and share my experience, strength, and hope on my life, the things that I've gone through, and what God has done for me. If He would save a poor soul like me, He'll do the same for you.
Yes.
And it took me years and years and years to realize that all I had to do was surrender. All I had to do was believe. All I had to do was stop fighting. So thank you, Sambo. And I hope that God, please move me out of the way. It's not about me. That I can reach someone. If I just help one soul today, I'll be doing God's will. I understand today who I am and whose I am. And He wants me to be His vessel. That's why he allowed me to get through all of these things that I went through. Because He knew that one day, my son, you're going to be able to help one of your fellow brothers and sisters. So when I stopped fighting, I realized that. So this is my story. And I titled this, Lord, Why Me? Lord, why me? At an early age, I experienced pain, alone, different, and full of shame. Lord, why me? Still a child, I experienced alcohol. For the first time in my life, I felt bulletproof and 10 feet tall. Lord, why me? Alcohol was my friend. It made me feel okay. No longer afraid anything I could say. Lord, why me? After years of drinking, I thought I was free, but little did I know it was abusing me. Lord, why me? No longer did it work, not a want, now a need. My emotions came back to fill that hole I tried weed. Lord, why me? Same old story. After a while, that got old. I just couldn't find anything to fill that hole. Lord, why me? I tried to do more. Now it was a habit. Slowly, I was losing my life, and I just couldn't grab it. Lord, why me? No father in my life, next to the youngest of 6. Maybe a relationship with Him, and that hole will be fixed. Lord, why me? Little did I know that made things worse. He didn't show any interest, so now I feel cursed. Lord, why me? The drinking got heavier just to even cope. My father didn't want me. I've lost all hope. Lord, why me? Anger, fear, loneliness, and pain. I couldn't take it anymore, so I tried cocaine. An instant addiction, now life is grand. It took away my worries, made me feel like a man. Never went anywhere without my friend. Finally, something helped me to cope again. Even though you took everything I had, regardless of the circumstances, with you, I couldn't get mad. With you, I hurt the people that I really loved. You put a wall between me and the only hope that I had, my Father above. Jails, rehabs, and DUIs, I cheated, I stole, and I told many lies. Too much of a coward to kill myself. But the pride would overcome my asking for help. I became good at being fake and living the facade. I was so hurt. There was no more faith in God. And at this point, I didn't even care. Lord, please take me, because this pain I could no longer bear. Lord, why me is all I could cry. I know you didn't create me to just live and get high. Lord, why won't you help me? You see that I'm hurt. Lord, than ever, now I'm even sleeping in dirt. I've cried so much, Lord, there are no more tears. I've dealt with this life for over 40 years. You promised me a life to be happy, joyous, and free. Did I do something wrong to make you forget about me? My son, you just don't understand. Worldly things won't make you a man. I never left you, or will I ever forsake you. But I gave you choices, and that alone can make or break you. Remember all those times you were locked up in jail? Son, I was the one that posted your bail. Remember that guy that tried to harm you with a knife? Son, I was the one that spared your life. Remember the night your friend drove you through a pole? Not even a scratch. Son, I saved your soul. Remember the time so drunk you couldn't see? You made it home anyway. Son, that was me. Remember those times when bullets were flying? Son, that was me. I stopped you from dying. Most of the time you didn't even know that I was with you. I did things you didn't know to help you get through. I gave you life every day. You never missed a meal. You had a roof over your head. It was your choice to steal. Oh, my God, my God. I sent you several messages, but you had no clue. Worshiping all those worldly things, the devil had his claws in you. That very first cry when you asked, Lord, why me? I knew that very day that I would set you free. Pain, shame, fear, and loneliness. Just to look at just a chapter in your book. Oh, my God. Now those things are just the past. Now forward is where you would look. I had faith in you the whole time, even when you didn't in me. All I wanted you to do was surrender, and I would set you free. Oh. See, God brought those things to me. And that ain't even half of my story. The program tells us jails, institution, and death, and I've been at all three of them, but I'm still here. And I kept asking that question, Lord, why me? But he was giving me the answer the whole time, but I was neglecting it. Several rehabs, much jail time, several relationships. I tried to fill that hole And I thought that that hole was because of the fact that I didn't have a relationship with my father. And things got heavier after I tried to get a relationship with him, and he didn't want to have a relationship with me. So, of course, that made things worse. I don't care what I did. I figured I'd get married and that would make things better. That didn't work. Fancy cars, fancy houses, clothing. I did everything I could to hide what I really felt inside. I was hurting so bad that I was at the point to where I just didn't care anymore. And God blessed me to get through these things, because I know someone out here now is struggling. Someone is watching is struggling. And I want to let you guys know that you don't have to leave here today with that hurt. You don't have to leave here today with that pain. Regardless of what it is, you are worthy. God don't make junk. He don't make junk. And God didn't allow us to get to where we are today in order for us to keep struggling. It's the choices that we make. The one thing he blessed us with was choices. But I realized, and it took me a long time, that regardless of what I did, he was still there for me. He never let me go. Regardless of if you're struggling with drugs, you're struggling with alcohol, you're struggling with relationships, you're struggling with gambling. See, sometimes we want to sit back and we want to judge people and think that our sins are not as bad as theirs. That's a lie. Sin is a sin. Gentlemen, we need more gentlemen in the church. We need to be the head of our households. Our children look up to us. Ladies, you don't have to go through abusive relationships. You're worthy. You're better than that. And if you find yourself in every relationship that you get into, but you end up with the same kind of person, it's time to look in the mirror. It's time to look in the mirror. God created us to do his will. And there's a lot of things that I have to do on a daily basis to remind me that. Because, see, I can become ungrateful. You know, a lot of the things that I didn't have in the past, I have those things now. There are people that's actually out here homeless, not by choice but by force. You know, there's people out here that's struggling and don't know where their next meal is coming from, but we throw food away every single day. There's a message that God wants us to carry. That's a job that he wants us to do. A bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go anywhere until you change it. You will never be free until you free yourself from the prison of your own false thoughts. Let me say that again. You will never be free until you free yourself from the prison of your own false thoughts. Y'all, we got to speak life into existence. If I wake up every morning and say I'm going to have a bad day, guess what? That's what it's going to be. If I look in the mirror and don't like what's looking back at me, guess what? It's going to continue to be that way unless I have to change. I realize that in the program today, I am a grateful recovering alcoholic and addict, and I am proud to tell anybody that. But it wasn't about the drugs and alcohol. That was just my ease and comfort. I had to change my thinking. I had to change the people that was around me. And it took a whole lot for me to do that. I have something here special, and I hope this don't make anybody upset, but sometimes if you're anything like me, you're hard-headed and you have to rattle that cage in order for me to wake up and see what's going on. This is for our gentlemen and especially for our ladies. Just because you have a fine car and a home and muscles and all of those things don't make you a man. Amen. Boys play house. Men get married. Boys make babies. Men rear children. Boys seek to survive their women's disrespect. Men seek to understand their wife with their heart. Boys are content with female companionship. Men welcome intimacy. Boys seek popularity. Men win respect. Boys cast blame. Men own their responsibilities. Boys invent excuses for their failures. Men produce strategies for success. Boys look for someone else to take care of them. Men look for someone they can take care of. Boys are narcissistic and self-indulgent. Men are selfless and sacrificial. Boys play at work and work at play. Men are diligent at work and play when they rest. What are you, a man or a boy? Ladies, what do you have, a man or a boy? It's time to start looking at that. You know, we can only use excuses for so long. It's time to stand up, to be leaders to our children. God tells us to love thy neighbor. We got to start praying for those that make us angry during the daytimes. And I know that we're not perfect, but someone here is hurting. Someone here is struggling. And I'm going to tell you how I overcame that fear, that shame. I had to come to the altar and let it go. And I'm going to tell you, after that, it felt like a building was off my chest. I no longer have to live with that. It was too much energy for me to live that facade and act like everything was okay. Today, God allows me, and because of him, my insides match my outsides. Today, I can look in the mirror and I can accept what's looking back at me. Today, I can say, I love you, and I truly mean it. I don't say it to try to manipulate you or get something out of you. Today, I can do something for you and don't expect anything in return. Only by the grace of God. My name is Travis, and this is my story.
You stay up here with me. You ain't going nowhere. Thank you, brother. Thank you. So Travis walked in Smithville when there was nobody there. Dovey remembers she was there. Travis walked in Smithville when there was nobody there. We had a Wednesday service one day, and we just sat around the tables downstairs and talked. Me and you and Pastor Amber and Larry, and we just sat and talked. Sibo was there, yes. We've seen what the Lord has done as he has built brick by brick. And he has built his house. He has built his church. He has redeemed his bride. And in Smithville, Tennessee, like I said, lives, they're being changed. Christpoint Church, your prayers and your support is going forth. The Great Commission is being fulfilled. And Travis is a mighty part of that. He is a mighty leader in Smithville. And he continues to be a mighty leader in Smithville. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb. We know that. And the power of the word of our testimony. It speaks to our hearts. We see ourselves in our fellow man. We love and we learn. We cherish the opportunity.
Hello again, and thank you for tuning in. I pray that today's sermon has spoken to your heart and has ministered to you well. We just want you to know that we have two locations, one at our Sparta campus, our main campus at Sparta on the square in Sparta, and our second campus is at Smithville behind Ace Hardware. And we would love for you to call Christpoint Church your church home. And if you're viewing this and you can't get in to church and you feel like you want to be a part of the church, then you can always be a part of the church. Just drop us a note and let us know that you enjoy being on board with us. And if you'd like to give and be a part of the ministry, then you can do that by just sending a check to one of the locations at 614 Murphy Street, Smithville, 13 Liberty Square in Sparta, and we'll get you on the road. We just love you so much. And you can download the Christpoint Church of Tennessee app and you can give online. So we are real people. We're living real lives, and we're serving a real God. And we just want to tell everyone, welcome home. We're so glad that you tuned in with us. Welcome home.